Welcome, everyone, to the Superpowers for Good show. I'm your host, Devin Thorpe, and today I'm excited to introduce you to Jean Gregoire. Jean is the CEO and co-founder or founder of LoveBox. This is a really cool technology company that is built to spread love and joy and happiness around the world. And I'm excited to share it with you. They're also raising on WeFunder. Please join me in welcoming Jean. Jean, welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot for inviting me, Devin.
We're thrilled to have you. We're thrilled to have you. Uh, what on earth is a love box?
So the love box, I like to describe is that a source of endless happiness, love, and joy for the users. So it's a box that has two main functions. First of all, like connecting you to your loved ones, so you can connect your whole family to the love box. It's a box that you have at your home. And so there is a mobile app pairing with the box to let all your loved ones send you messages to this box. And so the heart in front of the love box spins whenever you have a message until you read it. So it's a really a way to, a bit like sending a postcard of a greeting card, but from a distance. And so it brings really a great source of joy to the person who receives messages. And the second function of the box is more like in a self-care way. So basically, you can subscribe to content that you can receive on your box every single day, like positive affirmations or any kind of content that makes you feel better and have a better life.
That is really amazing, and there's an aspect of this that seems simple, maybe even gimmicky, and yet I am convinced it matters. Because we just, life is tough. It is just tough. And people just don't get enough love and affirmation in this world. I really think, social media can be so. Tell us about some of the user experiences with your
Yeah.
product.
Yeah, well, I can't agree more with you on that. And typically, I think that we used to be a bit too much, especially like with technology, we tend to be a bit too much focused on the functions, the technical functions of our product. Oh, this product allows to receive a message, but I think we should be much more aware of the role of the purpose. What is the purpose of the product I have in my life? And so the strong belief as I have about what we do is that we need to have products in our lives whose purpose is to be happy ourselves and to spread happiness to others. And if everyone in the world has a product in their life dedicated to this purpose, it can't be, it has to be a happier world. And so that's what the whole user experience is about, helping people, like introducing this new object in their daily life and making sure they use it every day. They send love notes to their loved ones every day, and when they receive a message, it's not like in the middle of so many other notifications that they have on their mobile phone, but it's like at home, in the most peaceful place they have, and at the moment where they can spend time to really have the delight that it provides. So yeah, that's mainly, like, I think the main thing. I think I would like anyone to remember, if you're watching the show, is like, have products in your life whose purpose really makes your life better, and don't focus too much on the function of the product, because two products may have the same function, like, oh, it can receive a message, but they don't have the same purpose. And I think that, like, the purpose of product, the purpose of companies are extremely important when you look at the impact it has on, your personal life, but also the impact it has on the whole society.
You are also getting some traction. This isn't something you have conceived of. This is something you're doing. You've sold about a quarter of a million of these, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we actually, we have a history of using crowdfunding. So we used Kickstarter in 2017 to launch a product, and so initially the product was a personal story. I It was not necessarily like, I didn't want to create a company with the purpose to bring happiness to everyone in the world. It didn't, it became that, but it was not that from the beginning. At the beginning, it was just for me and my girlfriend. I was in Boston, US. She was in France. I wanted to bring her joy, and like feel that I love her from a distance. And so I built this box just in a maker space, and then it connected us, the two of us, for a year. And but the thing is that, of course, I was talking about that to my friend. She was talking about that with her friends, and we realized that, oh my god, like this box brings joy, and it can have such a strong impact, not just on the two of us. And so I wanted to, since I was a kid, I wanted to create a company, technology. I love building stuff. And so I decided, oh, wow, this is really something I want to, I want to build. And so we launched this Kickstarter in 2017. We sold like about 10,000 units then. And since then we sold a 250,000 units. And so and it's not just a 250,000 people we impact, because every box is connected to like 3 to 4 people. So basically we touch over over a million people today. And it's not just something for a few days. It means that every single day now, all these people like have smiles and send smiles from a distance. So this is the impact we have today.
Yeah. That is really, really exciting to think about. And I want to follow up on the connection to crowdfunding. Of course, you raised money on Kickstarter as a rewards program, which is great. And now you're raising money on WeFunder using a revenue-based financing approach that's a security, a simple, basic, easy to understand security. Tell us a little bit about your WeFunder offering now and how that's going.
Yeah. So, like a few months ago, we decided to expand the purpose of our products, not just only do love messaging, but to create a range of new services for the box to receive daily content which improves your life, and also to launch a new hardware product called Happy Loop. And so we realized that we have, with this million of people we impacted their lives, like we have so much, a strong community who does not just believe, just doesn't just like the product, but they really believe that a company fighting for more love and happiness in the world is something they want, in the world, and they want to make it happen to support. And so we decided to launch this WeFunder campaign. So it was completely private. We only sent the email to our community, and we raised about $275,000 in 3 weeks. And actually, it's just becoming public today. And we chose the revenue share model because I really believe a lot in this model for any company who wants to, who is profitable. As you said in one of the videos I watched, like, if we make a profit, then like the scale of our impact is limitless. And so this is important for us. Like we want to build this company with this great purpose, which is good for the world, but in a profitable way. And because it's profitable, it means that we can share the profit with anyone who help us financially. And so I met this guy, Justin, from Refunder, and he presented me this revenue share model that I didn't know, and I realized it was absolutely amazing, because basically you give $1,000 now, or $10,000, and we can give you back $20,000 over the course of the next 3 years, sharing the revenue and the profit we make in the next 3 years. And so it gives us a bit of time, because it's 3 years to generate all these profits. And so you're not just supporting the mission, you're also getting a reward and a multiple on your investment. So I really believe a lot of that. And when I had a few phone calls with people investing, and for them, like, the two this is two extremely important pillars. Like they want to support the mission, they want to support what we do, but they also want the multiple investment. So it's really two separate features of the investment opportunity. They are, which are not separable, and it's really something that I'm very happy I met Justin, and who made me launch this campaign.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It really is kind of an exciting step in crowdfunding. People have done this before. WeFunder didn't invent it, but it's exciting to see. I think Justin kind of promoting this at WeFunder, trying to build it internally and externally, because the model is kind of a simple one. It's relatively easy for investors to understand. I put in $1, I get $2 back over time. That's not hard to understand, right? And it's also easy for the entrepreneur to understand, and it's easy for attorneys to document, right? It's not complex. Doesn't matter what legal entity you have, that legal entity can do it. So this is kind of exciting.
Totally,
I do love it.
Totally. And compared to
Now,
equity can be a bit harder to understand, especially for the general public. So and multiple investment, anyone can understand. Like the valuation of a startup, like there are some stories.
Yeah. So I want to drill back down on what you were talking about the individuals. You must talk to some of your customers. What do they love about the product?
It really depends on the use case. So I think that what they really love, and we can see in the reviews, is that it really helps them establish a new habit. Because basically everyone would like, I would like to send love notes to my loved ones every day, but there is a difference between wishing that and doing it. And so in the reviews, the best reviews we have, they have really established these habits. Are like, oh, now like every morning I'm sending this message to my grandmother who is in a retirement home, and then she sends back a thank you message, and I'm brightening her day, her morning, every single day. Or every morning before I go to work, I send a message, and I know my wife will see it later that day. Or so it's really about like establishing a new habit which has a good impact and which makes your loved ones happy. That's really the feedback we have, and which really brings value. So yeah, really like establishing a positive habit in your life.
Well, I am so excited to have you on the show, Jean. But everyone, we're going to just take a quick break for a couple of quick messages, and then we'll be back with Jean to talk about his superpower. So stick around. You don't want to miss this. Want to learn from the world's great change makers? Find your superpower. Subscribe to the Superpowers for Good newsletter at superpowersforgood.com. Make your strengths into superpowers that will change the world. Join the super crowd today. Superpowers4good.com. Learn how to make money with your crowdfund investing at the September Super Crowd Hour webinar. Drawing on decades of finance experience, I'll teach you how to make money, not just a difference. You will increase your impact by increasing your financial returns. Register today at thesupercrowd.com. Welcome back, everyone. We're here with Jean Gregoire. He's the founder and CEO of LoveBox. Jean, you have done really amazing things. I'm so excited about what you built. As what started as a very personal project with you and your girlfriend. You created this device for her when you were separated by just the Atlantic Ocean. And at that point, it began to build into something. You've now built a real company. You've sold 250,000 of these. You generated $25 million in revenue. I mean, this is like a serious grown-up business. I'm excited about this, but what do you see as your superpower?
My superpowers. I really love this term. There are probably many superpowers required to build a company. So I would say that the first one which I've experienced a lot is probably resilience. But resilience, I think, has is connected to how deeply you are connected to what you do, and actually in the most difficult times of building the company, because even if it's been a huge success, I'm talking about the quarter of millions units sold, like the 25 millions revenue to date and everything. The truth is that it's been super tough to get there. And so in the most difficult times, sometimes I was worrying like, oh, well, why do I keep pushing? And 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 even though the personal story I shared with you about how I got the idea of the box, but I think that the there is another personal story which makes me extremely connected to what I do and extremely resilient about what we do. And this is actually related to the childhood I have, and what I experienced. My mother has a bipolar disorder, and so since I was born, like she has it, and for her, uh, like uh, experiencing happiness is the most difficult thing ever. I remember when I was a kid, she was telling me, "Oh, you're my sunshine, like you're brightening my day." And it's extremely interesting to see that now it's kind of the same mission I have the company, like brightening people's lives. And I feel like, when I realize that I haven't taken necessarily the easiest path for my career, being an entrepreneur, choosing this specific project, and doing what we do, and I believe that, so this resilience that you have to do the project, and so the resilience I had on this project is probably deeply rooted to my personal life, and to this to what I experienced in childhood, and still today. So yeah, that's probably one of my superpower. I don't know if you want me to tell you about more, but or go deeper on this one.
Well, we will go a little deeper on this, but resilience is um, a really important superpower, I think, for entrepreneurs, especially, and especially for those that are trying to do something meaningful in the world, right? Because if problems were easy to solve, they wouldn't be there,
Yeah.
right? And so, if you're trying to solve an intransigent social problem, uh, you're going to run into challenges. You just will. So, um, as you think about your resilience, what do you see as an example of how you've used that for success?
uh, it's there are so many examples, but it's it's typically, we had a few times during the course of the company where we were struggling with money, and actually and raising capital. Typically at the beginning of the company, I thought that we would raise money with VCs and got $2 million in the bank, and then develop the product with these 2 millions, and then sell the product and all. The truth is that I quickly failed raising these 2 millions to develop the product. And so there could be a lot of entrepreneurs who start trying to raise money for a project, and then they fail at raising the money. They just cancel the project and move on to a new project. So but instead of that, I just decided to you know raise money with the community, and find customers first, and then get some investors coming because we had the customers, and so on. And so uh, typically it's just like every time something, a door shuts, or every time something fails, you just say, okay, well, let's find a way to to go around it. And so yeah, so I think the first example is typically everything about like raising money, and I think that crowdfunding has been key to solve this issue. But it's also about hiring people. Like you make mistakes when hiring people. and then you have to accept this is a process and just to keep moving, or like in every part of the business, like yeah, there are so many reasons to giving up so many times. And yeah.
Yeah, it you know, you use financing as an example, and I think that's really resilience is so important there because even those who are successful in raising venture capital usually endure many no's. Many people who have successfully raised millions of dollars have been told many more times no than they've been told yes. So it's a vital skill to be able to develop that resilience. I'm jealous of those who really have great resilience. Now, Jean, if you were trying to coach someone now to develop greater resilience, what would you tell them? How would you coach them to develop that skill?
uh, I would say that probably the first thing is probably first to be sure that you are deeply connected to what you do. And because I don't think you can you, resilience is not only about like a feature of someone. I think it's also deeply connected to what you do. So I don't think that some people are like, people who are resilient probably also decide to go on projects that are deeply rooted to. So I would probably advise to make sure that you are working on what you really want to work on, and otherwise maybe to make different choices in your life to make sure you work on projects you can be resilient on because you believe in these projects. So that would be probably my first advice. Um, then I would say my second advice is just it's surprising, but I think resilience is also about having something else than your project in your life. I realized so much that whenever I was too much focused on the company only, then I started to be less resilient on the companies. Just because you need to have a good life and be happy to be resilient. It's very hard to be resilient when you are in a bad spot in your mental state or physical state. So I would advise a lot to have something else. So typically, I play beach volleyball in competition, and this is a very important part of my life today. And for example, whenever I feel bad playing beach volleyball, I can realize that my body and my mental state is feeling bad, and then that I should take care more of myself. So taking care of yourself is probably extremely important. And this is because this is a trap. When you are resilient, you can be so resilient that you start focusing only on your company, on your project, and then you lose your resilience. So that would be maybe my second tip. And my third tip would be, it's kind of related to the first one, is to get people around you who are deeply connected to what you do. So maybe when you do some hires, you know, not only focusing on the skills, but also on how people are rooted, to your mission, and are really extremely motivated and aligned with what you do, because they will be resilient too. And resilience is viral. So if you are with people who, whenever there is something which fails, are like, oh my God, maybe maybe it's not worth keeping pushing, then of course it starts to spread to your mind too. So just surround yourself with people who believe in what you do too, who bring you positive energy, and who will nurture your own resilience, because resilience as a company is a collective feature. It's not just yourself who is resilient. You are resilient as a group of individuals, shareholders, team members, even customers who believe in what you do. So typically, even in the marketing, if you market your company only on the features and everything, but not on the purpose of your products, they will be, less kind of resilient. They will be less, willing to help you to support your mission. So I would say to surround yourself in everything, customers, shareholders, team members, with people who believe in what you do.
That's fantastic. We just have a few seconds left. Before we go, tell people how they can find a LoveBox and how they can find your rays on WeFunder.
So for LoveBox, go on our website, lovebox.love, Love. And on WeFunder, just go on WeFunder.com and search for LoveBox, and you should find us. So really, join in.
All righty. Thank you so much for being with us, Jean. We are so grateful, and we wish you every success in all that you're doing.
Thank you so much, Devin. And, I really love what you do.
All righty. Let's do some good.